Okay, let's do this first homework problem together, and then I'm going to let you kind of go and finish the rest of the graph. Okay, so you board a Ferris wheel that has a diameter of 800 feet, and you ride it twice around. When you board the Ferris wheel, you walk up the stairs to a boarding platform that is 10 feet off the ground. The total time that you're on the wheel is 18 minutes. So we need to graph the height of the Ferris wheel as a function of time from 0 minutes to 18 minutes. So again, let's visualize this for a second. So you have a Ferris wheel. It is the diameter, it says it's 800 feet. So 800 feet. So we always kind of want to find our radius because that's halfway. So our radius here would be 400, right? But we're also, so your R equals 400. So and your D equals 800. So we're boarding a platform that it says that it's 10 feet off the ground. So 10 feet off the ground. So then how high are we when we're way up here at the tip top? So because it's a diameter of 800 and you've got to walk up 10 feet to get to the platform, you're going to be at 110 feet off the ground. Does everybody see that? That is your highest point. So your lowest point is going to be 10 and your highest point is going to be 810. So let's figure out what our increments are, and then we can worry about our y-axis. So it says that it takes 18 minutes to do the ride, but we're riding it twice. So that means it'll take half of that to ride one time around. So one ride is going to be equal to 9 minutes. Does everybody see that? I'm going to move this down here. So one ride equals 9 minutes. So that means our intervals, we're going to have to take 9 and divide them by 4. So we get 2.25 minutes. So that's going to be our interval. So it's going to start at 0. Then to get halfway between the bottom and the top, it's going to be 2.25 minutes. And then to the top, it's going to be 4.5, and then so on. Okay, so now that we have that, we can go ahead and we can do our intervals here. So we've got 0. I'm going to change colors. I have 0. And then our next one, we're going to add 2.25. Then we just keep adding 2.25. So 4.5, 6.75, and then 9. So that 9 gets us, that's back to where we started, right? That's one ride. Now we keep going. So we add another 2.25, 11.25, 13.5. Another one is 15.75, and then 18. So that gets us around 2 times. Okay, so now we know that the very top, we're going to be at 810. And we know that we have to walk up a 10-foot platform to get to it, to get to the even on the ride. So far, is everybody okay? So now what's our midline? Well, remember our midline is our max plus our min, right? Divide by 2. So you can do that. So your max is 810 plus 10. That's going to give us 420. Divide by 2. So that gives us, no, sorry, my math. Okay, erase. That gives us 820. Divide by 2. And that gives us 410. So halfway up, it's going to be 410. And let's go back to make sure that that makes sense. So we know that halfway up is going to be, our radius is 400. But remember, you have to add that 10 feet to get up to the top of the platform. So then that does put us at 410 feet. So here we go. Let's draw in that midline. And that's just going to help us draw it. Now remember, we're getting off at the bottom. We're getting down here, so that is going to be 10. So when we are at 0 minutes, we're going to be at 10. And then we're just going to go write it up. So we got to write 10, sorry, my words are hard, 2.25 minutes, we're going to be at 410. Then we're just going to go up, back to our midline, and at 9, we should be back at the bottom, which is where we are. And then we go again, because we're riding this twice. And then we just connect. So that's how our graph looks when we ride our Ferris wheel. Okay, so now let's answer these questions. What is the period of your graph? Well, remember, a period is what? One time around. So how long did it take us to go through one time? 9 minutes. What is our amplitude? Remember, that's your max minus your midline. So our max was 810 minus your midline, 410. So that puts us at 400. So what is the equation for the midline? Y'all are pros at this by now, right? So it's y equals, well, what is our midline? 410. Okay, so now let's talk about our graph real quick. This is just a side note. So what kind of graph is this? This is going to set us up for tomorrow when we have to write the equation. Well, we know that it doesn't start at our midline, so we know this is going to be a cosine graph, right? So it's going to be a cosine. And what kind of cosine graph is it? Well, it is a negative cosine graph. And tomorrow we're going to have to go a step further and write it. Well, we have everything that we really need so far. We have our A, we have our amplitude. We know that it's going to be a negative cosine, so it's negative A cosine. The only thing that we're missing here is our B. We don't really know what our B is because the B, remember, it's not the period per se, because we know our period, we just talked about our period, was 9. But we have to know what our B is. So that kind of changes things. So BX, and we know that our midline is at 410. So we could write something like that. So tomorrow, this is what we're going to be figuring it out because we kind of know how to do all the rest of it. But not for today. Don't worry, not for today. But I just want to set you up for tomorrow. All right, guys, you finished doing the rest of this. Remember, none of these should be weird or different because all of them, we've done an example in the video. So go back and watch the video if you need to. All right, see you guys tomorrow.